party I've ever been to was at Blank's house.
Puffy's 50th birthday. It was so sick.
Yeah.
Epic.
This is Paris Hilton with P. Diddy, an agent.
Okay, we gonna have DJ Cassidy right now get on the ones and twos. We fed y'all, we gave y'all some drinks, now it's time to enjoy life. This is a celebration of life. This is a legendary white party. It's the real white party. Make some noise if you've been here before. Okay. And to all the kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit. In an hour, we put the kids away. It's all good. Hey, DJ.
Paris Hilton's world has just been turned completely upside down as new reports claim she might be getting pulled directly into Diddy's escalating legal drama. Sources say federal investigators are now looking at Paris as a potential star, witness in their case against Diddy, and the reason is explosive. Allegedly, Paris didn't just have knowledge of what Diddy was doing behind the scenes. She actually witnessed it all, and it gets messier. Rumors suggest Paris was so involved in that world that she was the one who allegedly introduced Kim Kardashian to that entire lifestyle. Now, with the feds reportedly planning to use her as a...
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so...
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
key piece in bringing Diddy down, it's not just his name that's on the line. Insiders claim Paris's testimony could shake the very core of Hollywood, because what she allegedly knows could expose multiple top-tier celebrities and their hidden involvement. If even part of this turns out to be true, we're talking about a scandal that could collapse empires. So, if you thought this was just about Diddy, think again. Buckle up, because what's coming is chaotic, messy, and could completely change the game. For years, Diddy's parties weren't just events. They were the pulse of Hollywood's celebrity scene. The kind of ultra-exclusive gatherings that didn't just make news, they dictated the culture. And standing tall among all of them, the legendary white parties. Lavish, invite-only nights soaked in luxury, oozing star power, and widely known as the go-to playground for the elite. If you had any clout in Hollywood, missing that invite just wasn't an option. Enter Paris Hilton, the ultimate it girl of the early 2000s. Long before influencer became a buzzword, Paris was already living it. And when it came to Diddy's events, she wasn't just showing up, she was the show. Paris was front and center at every major Diddy bash, always on brand in head-to-toe white, sparkling in rhinestones, flaunting her iconic nameplate necklace. Pure Paris. Her presence at those parties was no small thing. Getty Images? They've got over 500 photos of Paris at these events alone. This wasn't a surface-level friendship either. What Paris and Diddy had was a full-blown celebrity alliance. Paris brought the flashbulbs and frenzy, Diddy brought the heavyweight names. Together, they defined the wild, ultra-glam vibe of the early 2000s, bold, brash, and dripping in exclusivity. Paris wasn't just a guest, she was a gateway. She's even quietly credited with introducing Kim Kardashian to the Diddy party world. Back in 2006, Kim was Paris's stylist. That year, Paris brought her along to her very first Diddy white party. And yes, there's even
the Diddy pictures Hollywood doesn't want you to see. Every A-list celebrity from Leonardo DiCaprio to Mariah Carey can be seen partying with the disgraced rapper at his various get-togethers dating back to 1998. Here's a shot from one of Diddy's white parties with Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton in the background. And here he is with Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore at another party in 2009. Russell Brand, Chris Brown, Lil' Kim, Nicole Richie and Tommy Lee are just a few of the other big-name guests, while another picture from Diddy's East Hampton house shows two women pouring champagne down another woman's throat in the pool.
And that iconic shot of Paris and Diddy mid-conversation, both dressed to kill in white, surrounded by the electric glow of Hollywood excess. But here's what a lot of people miss. These parties weren't just for fun. They were power moves. Music was debuted. Remember when Jay-Z and Beyoncé dropped songs at these things? Careers were reborn. Networks were built. Just being in the room meant you were part of something bigger. And Paris Hilton's constant presence wasn't just about fashion. It was a signal. She wasn't just tabloid royalty. She was in with the industry elite. Looking back now, it hits different, especially with how many names, Diddy included, are now under the microscope. Investigations, allegations, unsettling headlines. Suddenly, what once looked like carefree nights of champagne and star-studded glamour starts to look like something else, something deeper, and the real question becomes, what was really going on behind those velvet ropes? Now here's where things start to get really interesting, because allegedly, the feds believe Paris Hilton may have played a much more central role than anyone originally thought. According to emerging claims, Paris may have witnessed a lot more of Diddy's alleged crimes than people ever realized. And now, federal investigators reportedly want to use her knowledge to help bring Diddy down. Apparently, at one of these infamous parties Paris attended, Diddy allegedly brought in young women for private encounters. And what unfolded that night took a dark turn. These shocking details come from a woman only identified as Lisa, who says she was at that very party. And yes, Paris Hilton was right there too. Lisa's story adds disturbing new weight to the growing mountain of allegations. Misconduct, coercion, exploitation, all tied to Diddy's ultra-glam, celebrity-packed events. What makes Lisa's account so haunting is the split between what the public saw and what may have actually happened. Outwardly, Diddy's 2004 white party in the Hamptons was framed as a civic-minded bash, co-hosted with Sony, part of his Vote or Die campaign, aiming to boost minority voter turnout. Diddy even arrived by helicopter, a spectacle of celebrity, using fame for social good. But behind the scenes, Lisa says something much darker was going on. According to her, she was approached by a man allegedly working for Diddy, who hinted that spending time with Diddy after the event would be a special opportunity. When she declined, pointing out her husband, a Sony employee, was at the party, the man allegedly grew cold and dismissive, like the offer was nothing more than a transaction. Her friend, who did go, later admitted she regretted everything. Lisa's story isn't standing alone. It eerily mirrors claims from multiple lawsuits, including one filed by Philip Pines, a former Diddy employee who says he was routinely assigned to manage and clean up after wild, days-long parties dubbed Wild King Nights. According to Pines, these weren't just parties. They were meticulously arranged setups, complete with red lighting, endless alcohol, and even a $100 adult machine called the Power Banger. And after the chaos, his job was to erase every trace. Pine's lawsuit alleges a laundry list of criminal charges, battery, harassment, trafficking, suggesting that the 2004 party Lisa described wasn't a one-off. It was part of a carefully engineered system, a high-gloss illusion of luxury masking calculated exploitation. And now, with Diddy's arrest last September on racketeering and trafficking charges and his trial well underway, the spotlight is turning toward the web of celebrity connections that propped up his image. Paris Hilton, while not accused of any crime, was a constant at these parties. And her name, it's being brought up, and not in a good way. No one's saying Paris is a perpetrator, but there's growing conversation about how her presence and that of other celebrities gave these events legitimacy. That's the key. The star-studded guest lists helped mask what may have been happening just out of frame, something Lisa's account now makes hard to ignore. All of this is forcing a re-evaluation of the power celebrities hold, and how easily fame, wealth, and clout can be used to hide what's really going on. Let's not forget, these weren't just some backyard parties. They took place in Diddy's mega mansion on one of LA's most expensive streets, a place where the elite live behind walls, and even the Playboy Mansion is just a few doors away. But today, that spotlight is aimed directly at Diddy's estate, and what's coming to light is shocking. Neighbors say it was chaos, non-stop. According to the BBC, police were called to Diddy's mansion 14 times in just 7 years. And remember, this is Beverly Hills, where silence and discretion are part of the price tag. So when neighbors start anonymously spilling tea, you know it's real. One described it simply, parties, parties, parties. She recalled seeing women stumbling out of the house late at night, disoriented, barely dressed, all after one of Diddy's white parties. And yes, Paris Hilton was often in attendance. These events were sold as the pinnacle of glamour: white dress codes, champagne showers, and promises of breaking boundaries. Diddy once said they were about unity, about blending generations and cultures. But now, a dark fog lingers over the legacy. In a new lawsuit filed just this week, a man claims he attended the very first white party in 1998, at just 16 years old. He was starstruck, surrounded by industry giants, until, according to the suit, Diddy allegedly singled him out, invited him to a private room, and things took a disturbing turn. "You've got the look," Diddy allegedly told him. "Don't. You want to make it in the business." And that's not all. 2 more lawsuits just dropped. One from Adria English, a former adult film star, who claims she was groomed into trafficking after working several of Diddy's white parties. Paris Hilton reportedly in attendance. Another from a man who says he was working security at a 2006 event and was assaulted by Diddy himself. In total, over a dozen lawsuits. The accusations: assault, coercion, trafficking. From both men and women, many of whom say they were pressured or forced into sexual acts, and that their careers were tanked if they didn't comply. Of course, Diddy's legal team is pushing back hard. They call the lawsuits publicity stunts, say the stories are exaggerated or false. A spokesperson told the BBC, "Diddy's white parties were iconic. They celebrated hip-hop, Hollywood, and black excellence." They say the media is rewriting history, twisting the vibe, and dragging innocent guests into the storm. But now, with this many allegations, the internet is asking the obvious. Where there's smoke, is there fire? And more importantly, after years of celebrities like Paris Hilton lending their fame to Diddy's events, do they now have a duty to speak out? Should they tell the feds what they allegedly know? Comment below with your thoughts. Were these just iconic parties that got caught in controversy? Or was it a disturbing reality hidden in plain sight?